It's the traditional New Zealand beginning to a test match, and we welcome all our overseas viewers to this telecast today, especially our friends at Channel 7 in Australia, in South Africa too, and up through the Star Network in Asia. Our picture's going live into France this afternoon. We have a very big audience as these two teams play out their dress rehearsal game before the Rugby World Cup, but it's a standalone test match, and it has to be won here and now on the field. There's today's referee, the former Eastern Suburbs prop forward from Sydney, Wayne Erickson, Australia's #1 man with a whistle. And brand new cap Andrew Mehrtens begins this test match at Eden Park. And Bobby Ross, first of all, takes the ball and has the fair catch, and this is going to be a key man in the Canadian team effort this afternoon. Bob Ross coming in for just his 4th cap. He's the big kicker, and the ball is in touch. John Hart, what about conditions? What do you expect?
Well, I think the conditions will be fine. There's been a bit of rain, but the ground is fine. No overhit problems. I'd expect the ball to be moved around, and the All Blacks should try to dominate the set piece.
Straight away, it's into big Olo Brown, the home player. That's the 22-metre line there. Away to Graeme Bachop, away to Mehrtens. Bit of confidence by the New Zealand team, getting it 2 passes wide first time. Canada have good loose men. Let's see how they go here. Josh Kronfeld for the first time. Ex-Hastings Boys High School, driving up over the 22. Now to Jamie Joseph. Eddie Evans is #1. And straight away New Zealand turning it over for a number of phases. Michael Brewer, the #8 forward, meets his opposite, Colin McKenzie. Mehrtens, a little pop kick. He's got a lot of variations. The bouncing ball taken by John Gruff. That's the goal line in the background. A tremendous beginning by New Zealand. You see the little hand signal by Bachop. He wants to take it left. His opposite number has almost lost his shirt. Sorry, that's Colin McKenzie, and a free kick.
Good start from the All Blacks, good continuity. Good start from Andrew Mehrtens, reading the blind side well, putting the kick in behind, and the Canadians scrambled out.
Okay, John Hart with me today, and down on the sideline, former All Black fullback Greg Cooper. How do you see it from down there?
Yes, well, it's important that the All Blacks get their pattern going. They've shown earlier that they're trying to create second phase play, and this game is really about them showing how they're going to play the game this year. And as John said before, they started well, set piece well won, and then created that second phase.
Ian Jones going high. Josh Kronfeld, #7. Well, the Canadians might have turned him to their advantage. Let's wait. Now it's on the New Zealand side. They've got all the ball so far. Graeme Bachop, Andrew Mehrtens, the Canterbury combination. A fumble by Walter Little. Ross for Canada. And taken away by Glen Osborne to John Gruff. A big deep kick. And hopped away from #15, Glen Osborne, so he didn't have a chance to have his first touch in test play. But he's a good one, this one, John.
Yeah, he's a very exciting fullback, and we need that ability at fullback to run into the line. He's got exciting skills. He's a very important part of the side today.
So #7 for Canada is Gord McKinnon. Ian Jones, the big line-out man. Behind him, Mike Brewer. Carl Svoboda here in the foreground. And that was one for Robin Brook at the front. He's #5. So all the set play going to the men in black so far. Joseph. Canada has it now. Gruff out to Gord McKinnon. He's their star forward. 36 years of age, John Gruff. Good little run. Svoboda, Canada making a strike here into All Black territory. Gruff again out to Ross. The Canadian captain is Reese. McKenzie knocked it, and it was a knock-on. So Canada, Colin McKenzie here, the #8 forward. Red-headed fellow. Looks like they've come to play some of the game by hand.
Yes, and I think if we look at their tour so far, the area where they have really struggled on is in the back line, showing the ability to move the ball quickly, and that's going to be the challenge against a tight defence.
Marc Ellis out on the wing today, out on the right wing. Wayne Erickson, the referee today. Bachop. Mehrtens is known for having a wide repertoire of kicks, and here's the first touch for the speedster Barry Ebel. And Jeff Wilson is number 11. Frank Bunce has climbed all over it. Bachop, it's a bit slippery, you see. Sean Fitzpatrick. Bachop again. Brewer. Mehrtens, a good runner. Joseph. Ellis.
Excellent Canadian defence there. Did very, very well in defence because Ellis had room and he took him out over sideline. That was well played by Canada because I really think they possibly should have scored then. They had the space.
And also good play there from Mike Brewer, getting wide and letting his backs move the ball wide into the space.
Ennis is number 5 for Canada. Robin Brook got it, but they closed the gap. It's a free kick for Canada, closing the gap before the jump.
A very strong line-out start from Robin Brook. He's looked absolutely dominant at the front.
And there it is to the 10-metre mark. Bobby Ross forced his way, and he's a great goal kicker. Look for him if they get a chance from the free kicks and the penalty kicks. He's very good, very dangerous. Look at that. There's the problem for Canada. No line-out ball in the first 5 minutes.
Very close, Red. Very close. Come on.
Jones. Six is Al Sharon. There's Al Sharon, played against the All Blacks in that game at Lille 4 years ago. Scored a try. Graf. He's the halfback. McKenzie. The turf cutting up there in that part of the field. And out comes McKenzie. Bachop. Mehrtens. There's the high one for fullback Scott Stewart. He let it go right through. And now Dave Lockheed, the winger, hacks it away. Good save by Lockheed. He's been the Canadian Test fullback before.
Stewart made an absolute botch of that, but excellent kick from young Mehrtens, who's already shown, as you say, a repertoire of kicks. He started strongly.
It's fine play from Mehrtens there. Important that he does the good things well early on, and already has started this game well.
22 metres line to the left. One World of Sport brings you rugby for New Zealand. There's the Canadian captain. Further out is Scott Stewart. And look at that. It's great line-out work from New Zealand early on. Walter Little. He's got Marc Ellis trying to cut the centre. Joseph is there. It's a good, sharp New Zealand beginning. Mehrtens fast hands. Little. They're good tacklers, the Canadians, if sometimes a little early. And referee Erickson was on the job there for an early tackle by number 11, Dave Lockheed.
This will give Andrew Mehrtens an early sider of the post, and not too far out, but certainly within his range.
Yes, John, it's in that interesting part of the field, isn't it? It's not really a sitter, but it's certainly not an easy kick, and his first kick in Test rugby, be important that he strikes it and strikes it well.
What are the wind conditions like down there, Greg?
Well, it looks as though it's a cross breeze, Keith. I think it'll favour him from right to left for a right-footed kicker, so really he's probably got the assistance of the wind for this kick.
His Test debut, South African-born Andrew Mehrtens. Yes. A little word into the dictaphone. Laurie Mains, the New Zealand coach. Good beginning for Andrew Mehrtens. It's through. 9 minutes gone, New Zealand 3-0.
excellent kick. Put it right through the middle. That'll be a great confidence booster for him. If the All Blacks are to be successful in the World Cup, if he's going to be the first 5/8 goal kicker, he becomes a very crucial player, and this test is awfully important for New Zealand's World Cup chances.
Mehrtens again, off the left foot that time. He rather hurried that one, but he's going to get away with it. Bouncing at the touch. So it's a short line-out call by the Canadians. And for them, that's what they've got to do. But look, that's gone on the New Zealand side. A good piece of tidying up, running backwards by Bachop, and back to Jeff Wilson. Well, here's Jeff Wilson, just a look askance. This is his first test match in New Zealand, so this really is the first time we've seen him in action in the All Black jersey. That's Ennis, number 5, used to play here in the city for the Grammar Old Boys Club. Picked up by Bachop. So Canada's still struggling to get possession. It's there for Ian Jones. Up nicely to Craig Dowd. Kronfeld, remember, he's in the headgear. Brewer out second for second pass that time. Mehrtens straight out to Frank Bunce. You see the Canadians can tackle. That's a good one by Steve Gray. Lockheed is in there again. He's number 11. This is where the Canadians will be at their best, spoiling and stopping. They're good tacklers. Halfway line. Mehrtens. What a beginning by Andrew Mehrtens. First 12 minutes, John Hart, you couldn't have asked for anything more.
No, he started very strongly. He's reading things well, and the All Blacks have to be careful. They just don't try and spin it wide. They've got to turn these Canadians back, because otherwise the defence will get very tight on them.
Carl's Mark Cardinal in his 14th test.
Get over it!
Bunce through. Big Frank all the way. Holes opened in the Canadian defence, and it was pretty comfortable for Big Frank Bunce.
Watch Andrew Mehrtens here. He gets the ball, he runs across the defence. Good pass from Robin Brook. Little goes inside, and then Bunce comes back and then cuts off his foot. A bad tackle, and then he's got open space in front of him. He does the rest. Good try to Frank Bunce, but maybe some weak defence by the Canadians.
Frank Bunce's 11th try and test. The conversion is through. All of a sudden, New Zealand are out to the 10-point gap, and 12 minutes gone.
Yes, as we see, Mehrtens a key figure here, running across the field. Frank Bunce doing well, leaving his run late, and obviously made it easier to go through, but a weak tackle. Bunce exposed it. Very good try to the All Blacks.
The kickoff has landed here. Canada will be alarmed at that. The lapse in defence. Gordon McKinnon, he was the man that missed Frank Bunce there. Graf. Now they're passing it themselves. Stewart up and through it, fullback. 15 metres out. A penalty for Canada. Hands once it was on the floor, I think. And here's a chance for Bob Ross to come into the game. Well, he was up and attacking in good shape, Stewart.
Good attack by Canada. Actually, the player that really did well there was the halfback, John Graf. He got into the play twice. He put the ball wide, and Stewart hit it strongly, but good defence by Bunce. Tackled him strongly on the and denied the opportunity to move the ball wider. But good to see the Canadians trying to chance around, because they're not going to get a lot of ball from line-outs, and I think the scrum could get under trouble later.
Sean Fitzpatrick, 63 tests today, equals the New Zealand record held by John Kerwin. Here's Bob Ross. Now, last year for Canada A against France, he kicked 8 penalties and 1 conversion. Got 6 penalties the other night in Timaru against the South Island selection. He got 8 goals again in Rotorua midweek. He can do it. Early nerves. It's away to the left. And no change to the score. It's New Zealand 10, Canada 0.
But the breeze, Keith, is just going across the field there. I think Ross aiming a little bit at that left post and just put it too wide, and the breeze didn't do anything for him.
One World of Sport from Eden Park in Auckland. It's the All Blacks against Canada. And Ross hit hard by Ian Jones. Robin Brooke, the other lock, gets Graf. Canada now to Gareth Rees, their captain. Boy, things are going well. Mike Brewer, a superb catch there, low to the grass. Mehrtens has got Lockheed with Ellis closing on him. Dave Lockheed and other utilities played wing, centre and fullback for Canada.
This is where the Canadians having a lot of trouble at line-out time.
9-3-1-2. 9-3-1-2.
Colin McKenzie coming up towards the front for Canada. Behind him is Ennis. Further down is Mike James, number 4. Comfortable for New Zealand. Look at the lineup of black shirts. Joseph hands it off in there for the maul to continue. Bachop, Bunce, Mehrtens, Little, Walter Little. That was bad luck for the North Harbour man. Craig Dowd, the goal line just ahead. Bachop, McKinnon buries him. Back on the New Zealand side to Walter Little. Tackled by Eagle, number 14.
Black man, play it immediately, please. 3 times on the ground, black man. First black man, play it immediately, please.
So playing on the ground, I think, from referee Eriksson.
Yes, I think Walter Little went to ground. There wasn't anyone around, and he tried to hang on to it as the Canadians came over the top. So Walter Little the culprit, but very good second phase attacking play from the All Blacks.
Watch Walter Little here. He goes down, plays the ball. Canadian was offside. He came in from the other side. It then ruled that the All Blacks have played it on the ground. Good line out.
So there's Canada's first line-out catch of the game. Cardinal back to Graf, back to Ross. John Graf. This guy's incredible. He's played wing, centre, second 5'8", first 5'8", and halfback for Canada in tests. Jamie Joseph gets one. Sharon through on Bachop. Mehrtens. And that looks like through earlier. There's the signal from Wayne Eriksson. And they're going to let Mehrtens have another shot.
Some of the ball that the All Blacks are winning at the moment is sometimes a little rough from the line out, and getting Bachop and Mehrtens into a bit of pressure. It's not quite as tight as it was at the start of the game.
Yeah, Mehrtens once again wants to carry on the form 2 from 2 so far. A kick that may get a bit of assistance from the wind coming from right to left as he sees it. Hopefully he can nail it at that right hand upright, and possibly the wind will do the rest.
Kicking into the breeze, first half. Struck it hard and well. That's really the end of a very good quarter indeed by the new first 5'8" Andrew Mehrtens. 3 goals, good variation of kicks, and some sharp play. He's away to a good start in Test football. There's Ian Birtwell, the Canadian coach, marking into a little book. And he won't be pleased at 13-0 down after 21 minutes. Bachop. Walter Little. Through. Gareth Reese's number 12, Kronfeld. Craved out. That's very good work for the prop to be there so soon. And now Joseph, who's had a bursting game so far, at the halfway line. Osborne is up from fullback. No knock on. Halfway is away to the right. This is 40 metres out. So the territorial advantage in the game, well, we're well and truly favouring New Zealand. 2/3 of the game, they've been in Canadian territory. It's a bit slippery there, and they'll slip about. Canada ahead on the kilograms there.
A little bit of a problem getting the front row settled. All Blacks holding their ground.
Taken by Grant. Gets it away to Ross. To Reese. Well, Gareth Reese, his father's Wellspawn. This guy educated at Harrow, 2 years at Oxford University. He's a brilliant scholar as well as a great leader and one of the great men of Canadian rugby. He's the one who has the tattoo of the maple leaf on the inside of his leg.
Come on, 8-5, 6-1 drive. 8-5, 6-1 drive.
All Blacks would be looking to Brook here.
Look at that from Mehrtens. He's got Lockheed going back right against the touchline. Looks like it's another New Zealand throw-in coming up as Lockheed clears the touch.
There we have Glen Osborne. Hasn't seen the ball early on. He touched the ball for the first time before. He'll be a little nervous, a little anxious, and no doubt want to get involved in the play. And he's, as John said before, an exciting attacker from fullback.
13-0 New Zealand lead. 22 minutes gone. That one was to Jones, but it wasn't straight.
The All Blacks clearly looking to vary their lineouts, which they'll have to do in South Africa. They realise that their height might not be great in South Africa, even though it is here today.
Big scrum from New Zealand. Front rows went around too far. Referee Eriksson sets it again.
The All Blacks are putting the pressure on in the front row. They have got the Canadian front row in trouble.
Eddie Evans, Mark Cardinal, Paul LeBlanc for Canada. Bachop caught Graf then. Joseph came over the top. Worked by McKinnon. Back to Sharon to Ross. And Bob Ross. He was on the verge of becoming a top North American baseball player. Changed his mind, played rugby instead. One try to Frank Bunce so far. One World of Sport is in Auckland, New Zealand today. Bachop straight to Little. A good bounce for the North Harbour man who's through Wilson. Marvellous run by Wilson. When he got the ball, you'd have thought he'd been taken down at 2 paces, but he made 20.
Steve Gray in big trouble in the back, taking a heavy blow from Walter Little when Walter Little went through him. He cleared for Jeff Wilson. Ebel stuck with him well.
Mackenzie. Canada ruck it to John Graf. Ross. Back in midfield, this is the veteran centre, Steve Gray, who's down. He took a hard blow there. They're looking anxiously at him. So now the referee is going to go and have a look at Gray. In rugby now they carry on for some of the injuries, but obviously if there's a decision and the referee needs to have a look, he'll go and check it out.
Yes, Keith, he took a very strong blow in taking Walter Little there. Walter Little, not a big man, but certainly quite stocky, very strong. And when he goes into the crunch of the tackle, he lowers himself, and not an easy man to tackle.
So he's a pretty sick lad. We mentioned Glen Ennis equaling that record by Roe Heinsohn, 31 caps. This is the 3rd highest Canadian Test player again. We'll have a look at that run again and see what a lovely work it was by Little. Look how Little and Gray collides. Took a heavy blow, but Little got through. And Wilson with Ebel close to him. I was surprised he made this much room, but that was lovely strong running by Wilson. Steve Gray is off the field, and this will give the Canadians a chance to bring in the accomplished South African, Christian Stewart. Big punch by Ross. Here's Osborne. Wilson getting him back behind him. Osborne wants to stretch the legs. That's Christian Stewart, the replacement player. Walter Little.
Well played, Walter Little. He helped his North Harbour teammate out there because Osborne got himself into a little bit of trouble. Little came back well and countered into the defence and then kicked the ball deep into territory.
Yes, Osborne's showing he wants to get involved, hasn't seen the ball, and as you said, John, Little helping out. Good vision from Little, putting it into the corner.
Bachop, Mehrtens, Little, now the new man, he's got through him! Bunce! Bunce again!
What's Walter Little here? He breaks the defence. Well cleared, Graeme Bachop. Mehrtens quick hands. Little propped on the outside. He goes through a weak defence, and then Frank Bunce is in the clear and dives over in the tackle.
Yes, here we see Little changing direction. They're getting on the outside of Stewart and running hard to the line, finding Frank Bunce, and Frank very hard to stop that close to the line.
So big Frank Bunce takes 2 tries so far, 12 Test tries. There is an injured player. It's Barry Ebel.
I'd say he's in quite bad shape, Ebel. I don't think you'll see him staying on the field. He's in a lot of pain.
Jane Druin, the athletic therapist, is on the field. The thing there that Walter Little already has knocked out Steve Gray from the game. But look at Christian Stewart. He got through the replacement tackler as well. Then the switch to Bunce, and Bunce hard for the line, and there's where Barry Ebel went down. And Wilson and Bunce admiring the replay on the big screen.
Frank Bunce had a strong start to the game. In South Africa, he will be awfully important. If we're going to be able to exploit Wilson, Osborne and Ellis as an exciting 3-quarter fullback trio, then Frank Bunce's hardness is going to be awfully important to the All Blacks. And today he is capitalising on his North Harbour's teammates' ability to make the half gap and put him into space.
Mehrtens, through it goes. It's a 20-point ball game for New Zealand. 27 minutes gone, first half. Frank Bunce, 33 years and 2 months old, running around like a sprightly young teenager today. Barry Ebel is going to go from the field. He's in tremendous pain. That looks like a broken arm or a serious elbow injury for Ebel. Big disappointment for the new cap today. Al Sharon, Canadians have got another man on the field. Al Tynan is on the field. And there's Al Tynan, the scrum half. So they've had to reshuffle the back line. Sharon cracked down, number 1, turned him over. Away goes Ennis. They're up against it now, the Canadians. There's Al Tynan, the scrum half. His brother played against the All Blacks 4 years ago in Lille, northern France. Reese to Christian Stewart. There's Mike James, the lock forward. Tynan, Ross, Reese, Scott Stewart, McKinnon there, number 7. 22 metres line to the right. Bachop to Wilson. The continuity of the New Zealand team is important to them. Ross punched it away. Fitzpatrick.
All Black defences look very strong. They're making their front on one-off tackles, which are important. And the Canadians don't have enough ability to keep the continuity game going when the tackles are made.
You see number 16, Al Tynan's come onto the field. So the Canadians have rearranged their backline again. Good catch by Wilson, but he's buried. So they rearranged the field, and you see right up the top of the picture the man who was previously scrum half. I told you he'd played on the wing. He's gone out to reappear on the wing again. John Gruff. So here's Al Tynan. Ross, Reese left out. Christian Stewart, strong Western Province player from South Africa. Gruff, who's now on the wing, number 9.
That's where we're talking about the continuity game. They just are not able to get on with the game.
Brewer off to Bachop. Bunce to Wilson. Brewer, Bachop. That's a throw, and Bachop is in.
Excellent try from the All Blacks. Bunce created space. Wilson, look at him come infield, which is where the try is made. He stops the fullback, goes in and out, creates the space, and Brewer transfers the ball very well to Bachop, and Bachop has a free run to the line. That's a good try to the All Blacks.
Graeme Bachop, his debut way back in 1987, has come down from Japan to play and try and make his way into the World Cup team. 2 of the Canadians have done that too. The Canadians having a little committee meeting.
They're facing the problems of disorganisation, aren't they, in terms of a backline now being totally disrupted with 2 injuries.
The try by Bachop is converted, 27-0.
Here we see Graeme Bachop getting the ball to Frank Bunce. Well done, Frank Bunce, drawing the Canadian defence into Wilson. Brewer doing very well here to stay in support. and the Bachop-Brewer combination proving vital.
Just about a point a minute by the All Blacks inside the last 10 minutes in the first half. Bachop swinging it to the left to Brewer. He's having a good one today, ranging wide Mike Brewer, and he's enjoying it. Didn't play number 8 last year, plays for Canterbury as a number 8. Mehrtens now straight to Osborne, to Wilson. Osborne goes around. The bounces are going New Zealand's way when some of the passes don't go hand to hand. Craig Dowd, 40 metres out. Three tries so far. Mehrtens. Excellent pass, Little. Bunce, the passes are sticking. We're seeing something special here from New Zealand. Bachop. Joseph. Mike James took him down. Kronfeld is in there. Straight to Mehrtens, a fumble. Well, he was under pressure there, so it probably doesn't count as a fumble because the man that was all over him was actually offside.
He actually was hurt earlier in a very heavy tackle, and he, I think, was still recovering when he got that pass, so I think he was suffering quite badly from the early tackle. Have a look. He gets hit very hard by Lockheed here. Goes down, and he took a while to get up, and I think getting into play, he may not have quite had his concentration right.
John, you mentioned earlier before about the defence of the All Blacks being strong. Apart from a couple of occasions, Canada today have tackled very strongly indeed. They hit hard in the tackle. On a couple of occasions, Walter Little has broken, but the majority of the time, very strong defence.
Yes, I think their defence, Greg, looks a lot better close in. You know, the close confrontational tackle they're making. They are getting into trouble when there's a little bit of space created by a step, and they are really, I don't know if they've got the pace on defence, the agility on defence in the midfield, and I think that's what's being exposed today.
Came out of Hawke's Bay, headed to Otago. Josh Kronfeld. Mehrtens has recovered. It looks like they're going to take a tap and run while Mehrtens recovers. There it is. Olo Brown. Olo Brown through. A collision between the two number 7s cost a try. And Kronfeld will be cursing, but McKinnon was right there on him.
Excellent work by Olo Brown. Burst the tackle, did well, tried to create the pass, and Kronfeld probably interfered with, but couldn't hold the pass.
Defensive scrum for Canada. Their back line is totally reorganised with 2 men off with injury. They've conceded 3 tries, 27-0 to down at the moment. Things aren't looking too good for the Maple Leaf at the moment. Bob Ross's clearance.
Watch Olo Brown here. He goes through the middle, breaks the tackle, body position good, runs strong to the line, turns the ball up, and possibly Kronfeld should have scored because he didn't get hit until after he'd lost the ball.
That one came forward off his knee or his shin. No, off the hand. Off the hand. Well, Olo Brown's been working on his mobility this year, and it's really started to come through in the last couple of weeks. And that's a good example. He's getting about in the park much more than perhaps we've seen from him in recent seasons.
Front row getting in trouble. Canada struggling to hold on at scrum time now.
Black forward took it down in the front row. It's a free kick. Eddie Evans getting back. Bob Ross. Looks like another injured player. Now Eddie Evans is coming to the sideline. He's had problems with a cauliflower ear, one of the classic front row characteristics, and it was sticking out the other day, swollen, and seems to be bleeding now. Well, Rod Snow tried to come onto the field then. For a few seconds, looked like Canada might have 16 players, but Eddie Evans is still there. You know, he should go off if there's blood there. That's the rule these days.
All Blacks line out, dominant in takes, but I don't think they have cleared it to Bachop as well as they might have liked in recent times, so they'll be looking for a better control, better delivery here.
Jamie Joseph, Robin Brook on the peel. Mike Brewer, Gareth Rees, who hasn't really been in the game, the Canadian captain out there at second 5/8, hasn't been an influence. That's Stewart, number 17, Ellis. Hasn't been a lot of the game run his way yet. Robin Brook. Ian Jones, lost forward.
1-3-2.
Close quarter handling, the All Blacks struggling there. They've only made a few mistakes in that area. I think that's one of their strengths today, has been their close quarter driving support.
And it appears as though they're using Mike Brewer to pull in the stragglers around the rucks. He's running off the ruck and also pulling in the midfield backs. But if they go to do that, they need to clear it a little quicker than they are doing at present.
John, I suppose with a lead of 27-0 in a test match, at this point New Zealand needs to consolidate, not be here and scare them all over the park. They need to consolidate before hammering it home second half.
I think Laurie Mains would be looking for 80 minutes. So this is the test, isn't it? When you get in front like this, you've got to start and make sure the concentration stays up, the skill level stays up, and the scoreboard should not matter.
It's down in the front. Craig Downs is the man. Free kick by referee Eriksson. And
Find that very hard to
that's
follow.
a strange one.
Very hard to follow. The Canadian prop went down and Dowd's on his feet, and he's penalised for going down.
Ross, that's an attacking up and under. Ellis waiting. Marc Ellis. He loves the broken play.
Let's have a look at the scrum. The penalty goes against Dowd, but have a look who went first. It was certainly the Canadian went first, and Dowd followed him.
All Auckland front row today. They play a lot on this field, obviously. Fitzpatrick, Dowd and Brown. Lockheed is on the right wing now. Punching it ahead. That's a pretty good kick, Bachop. It's going to get trouble. Sharon and Lockheed. Glen Osborne is in. Mehrtens. What a beginning in Test rugby he's had.
Starting to consolidate after a couple little messes with that after that injury. Good play there. Mike Brewer did well in defence there because Bachop was under real pressure when he took the catch, but Brewer was strong in support. Won the ball for Osborne to clear back to Mehrtens.
Yeah, that's a feature of Mike Brewer's play. Very good at helping the fullbacks and those people clearing the ball at the back there. And he saved Graeme Bachop there with very good defensive work.
His 26th Test match today. Mike Brewer from Canterbury. Cardinal throws. Sharon tapped on the hands, back on the New Zealand side. Mehrtens, Little. Made very strong ground after he was grabbed. And the Canadians are tackled. They pulled the ball away in the tackle, and that's a centre field penalty for New Zealand now. The shot is going to come in. El Sharon from the Ottawa Irish Club. Let's look at this again. He was tackled and then someone tried to rip the ball away. The referee gets sort of pushed around here. One of the Canadians takes him by the shirt as well, you'll see here, as he was getting a bit close. So Mehrtens, 3 conversions, 2 penalties. downs for Andrew Mehrtens, and it's 30-0. Half-time approaches.
Sean Fitzpatrick spending quite some time then with the referee trying to understand what he was ruling at scrum time. Not sure they totally agreed, but maybe they've sorted it out.
Bob Ross kicks out Canada, who won 15 of their 26 internationals since the last World Cup, are in trouble today at 30-0 down. Of the last 26 tests the All Blacks have played, they've also won 15. Bachop. Will snatch the ball then from Mehrtens. And he'll be upset about that. McKinnon is away! Gordon McKinnon. He gave Eltinen what we call in rugby a hospital pass. He crunched just after the pass came in. Stewart. Bunce on him. Mackenzie. Canada throwing caution to the wind now. Reese, the big quarterback's pass. Stewart. Sharon. McKinnon. They've lost it forward. It's half-time. 30-0. At the break. The All Blacks lead. Stay with us. The kicking tee is in place. And that's one of Canada's contributions to the game. The kicking tee in rugby union came out of Canadian rugby and out of Canadian football before that. And it's now accepted around the world. Andrew Mehrtens makes a beginning to the second half with a fair catch and a big thump. And Mehrtens will kick to touch here. And he's put another very big kick in. What a great kick by Andrew Mehrtens. Funny enough, his first kick went down there and the referee said to him, shame. And they had a little smile. But that was an excellent kick. And this referee, Wayne Erickson.
He's got an excellent boot, Andrew Mehrtens. Gets a lot of power for a small man.
Taken in by Colin McKenzie.
Penalised the All Blacks for coming round too quickly.
Eltinen into Eddie Evans. That was casual play by Evans. He's lost his number, but he lost that ball with a casual grasp of the ball with one hand, and they may pay here. Mehrtens a change of direction. Little a big hole. Robin Brook 10 metres out. They may still yet pay. Evans is trying to rectify things with his opposite number, Kronfeld. There's the goal line. Joseph. Good central position. Mehrtens. Bunce could have been on for the hat-trick if he'd taken that one. But they're going to get the try anyway. Marc Ellis is in.
Well, the All Blacks nearly butchered this, but in the end, very good play from Mehrtens. He ran the angle well. The pass was there for Bunce. He didn't get it. He went back and corrected. He stops the ball and then flicks it up, takes the tackler, and watch Ellis straight run to the goal line.
Yes, Mehrtens was the key here, changing direction well. Frank Bunce unable to hold the pass. And I was just going to say before, we haven't seen a lot of Marc Ellis. And here's Marc Ellis with the ball, straight run to the line, a very good finisher. And in the end, a good try to the All Blacks.
Marc Ellis, his first test match in New Zealand, hasn't had a test match since the game against England at Twickenham, when he was a first 5/8 back in '93. Scored 2 tries on his debut against Scotland from that position, but now he's out on the wing. Three penalties and 3 conversions in the first half. Pretty good effort by Mehrtens. It's away though, 35-0. The try by Ellis is unconverted.
Just an update on the Canadians that have left the field. They've gone to the hospital for precautionary x-rays, one with a shoulder problem and one with a cheek problem.
The kick out. Canada in trouble. Canadians have had more problems with injuries. They've lost another man. We'll update that in a moment. Stewart kicking forward. Robin Brooke waits. Scott Stewart got him. Number 20, you see Rod Snow is into the game. Bachop. Bachop got buried. Joseph and Ennis.
21-34.
So there's Paul LeBlanc. Sad for him. He's off the field. And that is a picture of despondency, I think you'll agree. So how many replacements has that Canada's made? 3 now. Sharon, McKinnon. Well, the referee's been in the wars too. He had a cut finger. Late in the first half, he had his wristwatch torn off his hand. So maybe he cut it then. He's got a new watch.
Surprised he wasn't sent to the blood bin.
Who would do the sending? Joseph, Brewer, Jones. Halfway line, Mehrtens floats it to Wilson. Lockheed is the tackler, Bunce. Stewart on top of him, Christian Stewart. Josh Kronfeld. Well, how do you like that for play, John Hart? That's pretty good, isn't it?
Good continuity, good wide pass. Again, Mehrtens in the play. He read that Bunce was going to be taken. He threw the long pass to Wilson. Read it well, Kronfeld in support.
And also good close quarter play from the All Black forwards here. Not trying to push the pass, finding the runner and then delivering the pass. And it was far better play. Earlier on, they were trying to push the pass.
Sad sight. Paul LeBlanc sitting absolutely dejected, shattered on the sideline. And there's more to come. Walter Little. Kronfeld, but it was taken away by Rod Snow, number 20, the replacement prop. Bachop. Wide out to Osborne. Up. Well, I think Ellis was hanging free, but he couldn't get the pass to him. Referee is calling let it come, and intentional knock forward by one of the New Zealand forwards, slapping it down. Bob Ross is going to kick it to touch. So there's Bob Ross. There's Andrew Mehrtens, the 2 first 5/8. Let's look at how they went in the first half. New Zealand kicked 7 times, passed 7 times, kicked 3. The other way around for the Canadians. And of course, 2 runs by Andrew Mehrtens. Very well presented by New Zealand. Joseph off Ian Jones. 22-metre line. Canada are being out-muscled here again. Bachop. Mehrtens. Little. Mehrtens on the loop. Osborne up. A dropping ball. Osborne gets away. Slides it out wide to Wilson. Mehrtens. Kronfeld is there. Bachop. Walter Little at first 5/8. Bunce running wide. Ellis in good position. Yes, Marc Ellis, and New Zealand are now 40.
Watch Frank Bunce here. Once he gets the ball, he moves around 1. He steps again and goes around 2. And then he straightens to to take the last tackler. He then puts Ellis in the clear, and the All Blacks are far from happy with the late tackle that was made on Bunce after he lets the ball go.
Yes, here we see Frank Bunce just getting on the outside, as you say, John, and putting Marc Ellis into the gap, and he gets hit in a strong tackle after this. Ellis out wide, and very good finisher, as I said before. Bunce down in the background, Ellis scoring the try.
That's 2 tries from Ellis today. 2, he doubles his number in Test rugby. So that's 5 tries for New Zealand today. You can see it up on the big board here at Eden Park. The Canadian team, they have a reputation for being tacklers. They are letting themselves down badly this afternoon in the defence. Andrew Mehrtens will be a candidate for the Ubix MVP, which will be decided after the game. So that's 2 misses, 2 unconverted tries in the second half. 2 to this man. It's 40-0 and 10 minutes gone in the only test between New Zealand and Canada of this tour.
Marc Ellis is finishing well. He hasn't seen a lot of play, but just lately the ball's coming to him. And if you give a winger a straight run down the sideline, taking their defence out, he's doing what he should.
Mike James here coming off. The Canadians are battered by the relentless All Black pressure today. Gareth Rowlands is onto the field. Born in Wales, Welsh name. Taken by McKenzie to Rowlands. That's Rowlands there. There's 2 men on the field with number 21. That's got to be a famous first. That's Ennis, number 21, as well. Here they go again. That's Gareth Rees, number 12. Rod Snow, number 20. The New Zealand goal line up in the corner. Here it is again. Kicked away from McKinnon, and Scott Stewart now. Gord McKinnon, he was here with the world, 15 and 92. Rod Snow tries to rip it free. Kronfeld. Could be in a counter-attack here. No, Bachop elects to kick, but he knows that Stewart's been up. Graf is back. He can't kick out on the full. And he did, you know. I thought he carried it back. Let's have a look where he fields the ball. Runs it back behind the 22-metre line and then kicks it out in the full. John Graf, he's out on the wing now in the rearranged Canadian back line. Look at the line-out advantage for New Zealand. Hooked down by Joseph. Little. McKinnon is the tackler. Bachop. Mehrtens. Wilson. Mehrtens. Stayed on Wilson. Got a return pass and scooted in for his first try in tests.
Well, he's certainly having a dream game. Keep an eye on him here. He throws a lovely pass to Wilson, but more importantly, he backs up. Wilson goes infield, takes the tackle. Mehrtens picks it up from behind, outpaces the opposition, does really well. That's an excellent effort from the young 5'8".
Yes, good player. Well done from Jeff Wilson. He comes infield slightly, sees that Mehrtens is there, gets the defender out. Mehrtens coming in the screen, runs hard, outpaces the defence. He's very fast and a very good try.
Well, I've got a service message for the Cooper family. Matthew Cooper, Greg's brother, who's with us today. Matthew Cooper set a world record for points on debut, 23 points in 1992. Andrew Mehrtens has 20 points so far, and we have about 25 minutes to play.
Well, if Andrew Mehrtens breaks that record of Matthews today, he's deserved it. He's played very, very well indeed.
Goal kicking is into a bit of a temporary lapse. 3 misses, but 20 points today for Andrew Mehrtens. It's 45-0.
Canadians are really struggling with the pace of the game now, and what the All Blacks have got to do for the next 26 minutes is really step it up.
The game resumes again. New Zealand will want to play this out to the full 80 minutes of effort. If you've got a program or following the numbers of the Canadian team, it's a nightmare, folks. One of them's got no number. There are 2 number 21s on the field. There are 16s, 17s and 18s, and here's number 15. And the whole team's at 6s and 7s. 10 metres line there. Bunce, Bachop, Mehrtens. There's the kick wide for Wilson. Where's the bounce going to go? Wilson and Lockheed. Osborne. Another of the new boys gets a try.
Well, watch young Mehrtens again in this replay. He was going to pass. He shapes to pass, then he sees that they're up wide and he kicks, finds the space. And Wilson shows his class and speed. He goes on the outside. Lockheed, there's a clash for the ball and Osborne gets a great try on debut. Easy try, but he had to be there to do it.
Yes, the pressure and the power of the All Blacks now becoming very evident. Well read by Mehrtens, as you said, and good pressure from Jeff Wilson. We haven't seen a lot of Glen Osborne. He turned up here on the picture and scored a good try on debut.
Skillfully picked up the twisting, bouncing ball, and he's over. The kick to come from Mehrtens. And that's through from Mehrtens. He's closing in on that world record for points on debut. 22 now, the 50 is up. It's 52-0. Earl Curtin, New Zealand assistant coach, watching from the end. He'll be pleased the way the game's gone. He watches down at the end for the width of the game. And there's number 16, Mark Cardinal, who started in number 2. Rod Snow was number 20. An opportunity for points for Canada. What are they going to do? They've taken the tap. Good on them. Al Tynan, McKenzie, Al Sharon, Stewart, Scott Stewart. Bachop, a counter-attack here perhaps. Bunce. Unforced error from Frank Bunce. I think that's the first time I've ever seen him do that. Look at this again. It was on here for maybe a runaway down the other end, but just a lapse. There's been 2 or 3 of those. Look at the reaction here.
A few mistakes have been the ball, taking the eye off the ball.
Midfield. 17 is Christian Stewart. Gareth Rowlands thought he was away under the sticks. They put Grappen again to half-back. So Tynan is out somewhere else. Tynan's on the wing. The Canadians have rearranged their back line again. Graf back in at half-back. That's Lockheed. Well, if you see Dave Lockheed in the forward exchanges, don't be surprised either. He plays the last 20 minutes against Fiji a fortnight ago as a flanker. Well, they're torn to bits, the Canadians, and now there's another one down. And Gareth Rees just pushing Olo Brown away from his player who's on the deck. And that's John Graff, who's wearing well, maybe it's Mark Cardinal. Let's have a look at that. There is the player down. Mark Cardinal didn't want to be helped up. And that's where Gareth Rees came in. Mark Cardinal, his 14th Test match this afternoon. Jane Drowan coming off the field. (52-0) New Zealand lead. 18 minutes gone, second half. This young man, his grandfather was an All Black fullback in 1928, George Mehrtens. His father was a junior All Black, carrying on the family tradition in fine style today. Rolls a little, could be a try here for Wilson. He's going to have Lockheed on. Bunce. Mehrtens backing up. The tackler was Al Sharon.
All Blacks are really opening it up here, and they can counter-attack. The Canadians are really stretched. Some good back play, some good running out wide now from the All Blacks.
Yes, Canada very competitive early on, but now, as I said before, the power of the All Blacks is very evident, and the gaps are starting to appear, and players like Walter Little starting to expose them.
Bobby Ross, Gareth Rees, Christian Stewart, number 17, is through. The South African player born in Toronto. Gareth Rees. A high ball out to Grubb.
Well, there was one of the few times we've seen the All Blacks miss the tackle. Gareth Rees broke the tackle of Walter Little then and made space and tried to free the ball to Graff, but the ball went astray.
Joseph. The tackler was Gord McKinnon. Gareth Rees again. Out to Stewart. Kicking wide for Lockheed and Wilson. Osborne in position. Christian Stewart.
Some of the Canadian forwards, to me, look very, very tired. Greg, I don't know how it looks down there, but they're looking very tired. The physical presence of the All Blacks taking it to them in the close quarters is really starting to tell.
Yeah, that's right, John. They are slowing down. It is becoming more difficult for them. But I think it's important now that the All Blacks, as you said earlier in the game, if Laurie Mains will want an 80-minute game, it's important now the All Blacks apply pressure.
We're at the three-quarter mark in the game, and New Zealand leads by 52-0. Again, Laurie Mains into the dictaphone. The line-out dominance by New Zealand has been pretty well totaled. Al Tynan, number 16. Then McKenzie, Sharon, Gord McKinnon.
Watch the back here. I think it could go to Ian Jones.
Armed away by Jones. Looked like outside arm to me. Yeah, outside arm called by Ian Jones.
Well refereed, Keith. Well done.
Yeah, well, when you're listening to the referee on the mic, it sure helps, John.
Oh, you got good ears.
I got a sack full of good ears. 52 points to 0. Cardinal takes it up. He's wearing number 16. So is the halfback. That was McKenzie to Sharon, to Graff. Big hits. Rowland's number 21.
A little bit of a scuffle there on the tackle between Ellis and Graff.
Yeah, good defence from Marc Ellis hitting Graeme in a very strong tackle, and Graeme not too happy about the vigorousness of that tackle.
Craig Dowd had a good one in the front row. 2 tries in the second half of this guy. Bachop. Mehrtens. Left foot push into Canadian territory. Graf traps it with his foot. Stewart is fullback. Brewer waits. Caught by Al Tynan. Rod Snow is number 20. It couldn't be here. There was just a leg there inadvertently on the ball. Al Tynan sat a university exam the other day in Palmerston North in one of the hotel rooms. Assistant coach Rod Holloway supervised.
Hope they both passed.
Well, one supervised and one sat the paper, John, I guess.
So I'd be a little bit concerned. The All Blacks just starting to make a few mistakes. The balls are getting dropped. The eyes are coming off the ball. The thoughts are on using the ball and trying other things before they get it. Have a look at this. I think you'll see that Little is not looking at the ball as he drops it. Pays the penalty.
.22 meters line. Tynan. Ennis. Rollins, the 2 number 21s. Sharon. He took his eye off the ball. Now the counter-attack. Wilson. Chased by Reese. He's isolated out there. Lockheed and Gareth Reese. Gareth Rollins. Tynan. Snow, the Newfoundlander, has got the ball, and they've torn the shirt off his back. Bachop to open field.
Could be a try on here.
Wilson and Stewart. Osborne again. Oh, what fine support play. 2 tries for Glen Osborne. Well, you wouldn't say sprinted the length of the field for either of his tries, would you, John? It's just pick up and flop.
But he's worked hard. Bachop puts the kick down deep. Wilson immediately on the outside, and then the race was on. Wilson going straight down the line. The Canadian coming back in defence. He did well to stop the ball. He went down on it, but it popped up, and he gets hit there, and there's Osborne towing ahead. But full credit to Osborne because he's come from 75 yards chasing the kick.
Well, down in the foreground you see Rod Snow with a new jersey on. The other one just torn completely away. So Mehrtens has played a big role in that try as well, starting with a pass across the front of the goal. The most points ever in a test debut by one player. 24 he has now. Greg Cooper, you should come in here and maybe make the first comment.
I suppose that's a special congratulations to Andrew Mehrtens. A very fine performance today, and he'll be delighted. All of the newcomers have played well, but a special moment for Andrew Mehrtens.
Mehrtens again. 59-0. A bad hop behind Stewart. Well, the Canadian jerseys haven't lasted too well today. Let's have a look at this. This is Rod Snow from Newfoundland. And it's a bit like what the Incredible Hulk, he used to burst out of his outer suit. Olo Brown. Big Olo Brown! He's waited 18 long test scorers, first try for the All Blacks. Olo Brown.
Well, he doesn't score many, but he deserves this. He nearly went in before. What's the line out? The tap down from Jones, and then Bachop passes to Brown on the short side. Brown beats one tackle, two tackles, and goes straight through the last to score, and it's a very, very popular try. He's one of those guys that plays the game with all his heart. He doesn't get a lot of credit, but he certainly today is showing a lot more speed and power than maybe he did in last season.
It's the biggest test score ever put up against Canada. And look at that. The pain is written all over the faces. Another goal flies through for Andrew Mehrtens. 66-0. And there's Ian Birtwell. Well, after the England game, he said Canada were embarrassed by the score. I wonder what he says now. There's the kickoff down to Osborne. Not much of the game, surprisingly, has gone the way of Glen Osborne.
Thought the opportunity was on to counter-attack then too, because he had 4 outside him and only a couple of Canadians, but he obviously elected to take the safety of the sideline. Canadians will be playing for a bit of pride. Can they get a try? Can they do something to stop the onslaught? Because so far they are just being battered into submission by this All Black team.
John, they haven't really looked like scoring, have they? They've tried to attack, but haven't been able to get any continuity in their play.
It's in fact let them down at crucial times close to the line when they have had a few opportunities, but they have lost the ball in the last pass quite often, haven't they?
Kicking wide. In touch.
Relatively novel way of keeping the ball alive from the winger then.
He's harmless. Dave Lockheed. Canada will be devastated by this. They're playing in the toughest pool at the World Cup. They're calling it the pool of death. They've got to play Australia and South Africa next, so this will be shattering for them. They were quarterfinalists last time and were really pleased with themselves. They beat France last year, remember. Bachop. Mehrtens through. He's a great runner. Kronfeld. Tynan drags him down. Bachop to Joseph beautifully. Wilson plays soccer. That's the centering kick to Rod Snow. Tynan. Rowlands, Ross, Reese, Stewart. That's Christian Stewart. Al Tynan again. Little Bob Ross. And that's a cynical foul on Ross. He's taken down.
I would say he's very lucky from this, because Bunce has taken him out very, very heavily. Very heavily after the tackle.
Well, it's sad to see that sort of incident marring a big win. Now Little's pass to Wilson. And the reply is a try to Jeff Wilson. Super try, super running from Jeff Wilson, but look at the pass from Walter Little.
He really threw it a wide crossfield. We're not catching it here. All we're seeing is the Wilson run, but he's just too fast for the defence. He's looking very, very strong and very, very quick this year.
He certainly looks good, Jeff Wilson, his first test match and his 4th test try. He got 3, remember, in his debut up at Scotland in '93. Mehrtens, the points continue to come. He's got 26 so far. Through it goes for another 2. We're going to, I think, see a New Zealand record today with 7 minutes to play. That's the last issue that's left standing. Gareth Rees is only just standing. He's been staggering right through that, being attended to. The New Zealand highest score in a test match is 74. You remember the game against Italy in the World Cup? Against Fiji, sorry, in the World Cup at Christchurch. Gets just a little bit of satisfaction for Canada. A very sporting crowd at Eden Park applauds loud and long for that try by Christian Stewart. Bobby Ross adds the conversion, and now it's 73-7.
What's the pass from Little this time? It's wide, and Stewart reads it well, takes it well, and has a straight run to the line. I'd say the All Blacks would say 5 minutes to go, we must finish strongly. That would not be the way they want to see this test match finish.
That's right, and a good opportunist try to Stewart. He's actually played very well since he's come on. He's been quite incisive in his running. When Little threw that pass, he couldn't quite see what Stewart was up to. Stewart read it well, and a good try.
Remember, the UBIX MVP will be announced after the game. I'd say about 15 All Blacks are candidates today. Fitzpatrick equaling the record test. They're going to finish with a bang, all right. 1 more point and they get their highest score ever in a test. The referee's gone down to about the 3rd time in the game. Five minutes left. Ten tries to New Zealand. Osborne gets a good hop. Takes on his opposite number. Colin McKenzie. Eltonen. Ross. A wide kick to Grab. And that's the flattest angle touch finder I've ever seen. He didn't mean that. The quick throw-in's on. Marc Ellis.
The referee has called them back using the wrong ball, so we'll start again. The game losing a bit of shape, the All Blacks wanting to finish strongly.
Look at the line-out count, 25-7. That's where the early advantage came. And New Zealand have hammered it home from a 30-0 half-time score to 73-7 now. Straight back to Fitzpatrick from Brook. That's a new one. Lost on the Canadian side. Lost forward. Mark Cardinal running it away. Canada backed up hard against their own goal line.
All Blacks will try to put pressure on here. I thought the last scrum they set against the Canadians. This time I think they're going to have a shot at them to put them under pressure behind the goal line.
Rearranged Canadian front row. Evans, Cardinal and Snow now. Ross. Well, there's Rod Snow. He's a man, John, who travels 5,000 miles to go to practice. 3 plane flights from Newfoundland to Vancouver.
We sometimes don't appreciate the difficulties, do we, in terms of travel that other countries have. The magnitude of Canada shown by those statistics.
Rod Snow from Newfoundland. Jamie Joseph. That's gone through the hands. Colin McKenzie away. McKinnon lost it forward. Advantage will apply. Mehrtens. Brewer running across the maple leaf. And in many ways, they've done that in the game. Ian Jones carrying it on. Now, have they got one more try? Frank Bunce, who got the first couple. But you're right, John, it's just lost a wee bit of shape in the last moments. And while no one's going to quibble at the score, they'll want to shape it up and make it tough to the end in the World Cup.
Yes, just that line out then, Jamie Joseph, very casual tap at the ball instead of control. And these are the things that they just can't afford to let come into their game. They've got to keep dominating, got to go for the pressure of accuracy.
It's a Steinlager test this afternoon at Eden Park, and New Zealand lead in the last moments by 73 points to 7. Mehrtens, who's had a debut that's been brilliant, 26, a world record for a test player on debut. Sean Fitzpatrick. His first test was way back in '86. Mehrtens. Fast hands Bunce. Reese is the stopper, number 12. Hand in there, referee Eriksson. What will Canada do here? They'll try to bravely run it to New Zealand, surely.
They have little option.
Snow. And he's had another shirt torn off his back. Bachop, Little, Wilson. Bachop, they're keeping it alive. But another fumble. Now, we're not going to cart or quibble. We're just going to quote the statistics. I think that's about 6 passes that have dropped forward. That's the end of that comment, because at 73 to 7, you can't really complain too much. But these guys who concentrate hard will be disappointed at that. It's time up. Stewart, a way to touch this. Might be the relief being the end for Canada. It is. Well, the first test of 1995 is over. He must be a satisfied man. Laurie Mains, the New Zealand coach. His team on the field have demolished Canada. They've torn the shirts off their backs and blown them away on the scoreboard by 73 to 7. And it was a 10-try blitz for New Zealand. And it was 26 points on debut for Andrew Mehrtens. Jeff Wilson scored the last one for New Zealand.